Okay, I don't. That one's not on. That one is not on Twitch. That is entirely on me. So if you will forgive me for a second, as soon as I saw the problem, I stopped doing stuff in the game. Let me just make sure I got my quality options and such. I see Night Valiant in here, and there was some talk of the blog, and it actually looks like chat's been really active while I've been gone. So let me just catch where we are at. Yeah, so Crack Steve, I don't know if you heard me ask this, but I don't know what If is. I know it's a Marvel show, but I don't have Disney Plus. And actually, right around the time that you said that, I realized that in 3 hours, I will lose a free month of Disney Plus through my Game Pass subscription. So I need to get that. I definitely write. Actually, let me take a quick second for that lovely little bit of self-promotion. I've done more writing than has been published. I will admit, I've actually gotten behind. I've gotten behind on it. The last article that I put out was actually back in July, I'm ashamed to admit. If you go to systemchalk.ca, it's also there. And I'll actually tell you why. I had a really, really big data project that I was working on. And that was at the time that I had... So that was around the time that I had... I had to check something. Oh, weird. Oh man, I just got a really interesting email. Okay, sorry. Because then the next question is, okay. I'm not gonna check to see who's in chat, but I thought this was a mistake originally, but I think this is actually intended. I've got invited to a Halloween party. I've actually been really looking for an excuse to go back somewhere. And that would be a really good excuse to do it. But also over COVID, I've grown this like big, bushy, hideous beard. And so if I'm actually going to be visiting, I sort of need to wonder whether or not I should shave it. And if I shave it, I've spent like over a year growing this thing. Why is this so hard? Okay, anyways, sorry. That disconnect really threw me for a loop. So yeah, I had this big data project that I was working on. We will get back to the game, but I'm just going to take a minute to sort of recalibrate, and then we'll put the mission to bed. Really big article I was working on, and some of you will remember that I had a problem with Linux, and basically the virtual machine I had was completely killed. And it turns out between that happening and me sort of putting the finishing touches on this big blog that I was writing, someone found the same data set that I was working with. So like this been this big gem of something to study that's just been lying there that nobody looked at. And then this article comes out, and they didn't do exactly the same thing as me, but it was really darn close. And because I'd done that article basically twice now, I was like, oh man, I just don't have the heart to do it again. And so it's actually, that's one of the reasons I haven't been writing lately. And again, I don't want to sound too sorry for myself, because there is stuff that I want to do. But like, just because there's so much effort that went into it, and because I'm a little bit behind on some stuff that I wanted to do for other people, I haven't been updating it. So that's one of the things I want to say. Like, one of the easiest things, like, do I want more people to read my stuff? Well, maybe I should write more stuff, right? I used to have a private goal for myself, at least one article a month. I've not been near that for a really long time. But yeah, with that in mind, like in terms of things that I do that I think, so I don't think my streaming's very good, if I'm honest. I think my writing is better, but I'm definitely better known for my streaming than I am for my writing. And thank you, 1-4. I actually put out a question for public domain works that people would like to hear me read. I still need to figure out my audio settings. So I need to figure out the best recording settings for, like, so there's some things that I can do for my surrounding areas to sort of like muffle the sound and make sure that, you know, I'm doing a proper reading and the sound quality is something comparable to what you would hear in an audiobook. But it is something I'm actually putting some effort into doing. And if any of you do have resources for sort of suggesting, you know, EQ settings or, you know, like there's a whole bunch of different things that I can adjust that I really don't know that much about, which I'd like to put in. But another thing that would be helpful is if I can get some indications of the things that people would like to hear read that's in the public domain. That is something I would like to make available for people. Where were we? Irrepressible has the good Keynes quote, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So yeah, and this is the thing, like you don't need to be invested in everything. If you're investing because of other people are doing it, then I don't think that's usually a very good reason. And so, you know, I'm happy enough to stay aside. Thank you for, you definitely got the name right, Glum, and welcome. Hello, Night Valian. I saw you became... So speaking of famous, Night Valian was famous for reasons he probably wishes he wasn't yesterday. I was really sorry to see that, Night Valian. Your shout-out is forthcoming, but I got to catch up with chat. Crack Steve says, what if is an animated Marvel Comics universe show about what-ifs for the Marvel Universe, like zombies, Ultron winning, Killmonger saving Tony, and Peggy Carter becoming Captain America, Captain Carter. Oh, that's really neat, actually. Lots of Canadian going dark. Sorry about that. Should be back. What if it's a comic series in the 90s, now an animated show. Nice socializing with spookus things. Werewolf style, go as a caveman, grow more beard. Well, this is the thing. Most people don't know what I look like. So if my first impression is this, you know, Robin Williams and Jumanji kind of creature. What do I mean by public domain works? So copyright is, I believe, in the United States, the author's life plus 75 years. Let me just see exactly what that is. So basically, I mean, this is an interesting conversation that I actually have done economic analysis of. It is the economic analysis of intellectual property. And the main idea here is that we recognize that there is I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. There is a benefit to sort of these works of the mind that you know, like, so one of the most famous examples of this would be drugs, that the cost of developing drugs is very, very high, but the cost of manufacturing drugs is quite low. And so it can actually be difficult to recoup the cost of developing new drugs in the absence of some kind of protection that the person who develops it is able to recoup the money that they put into it. On the other hand, the point of this is to protect ideas, not necessarily to protect profits. So there's a similar problem with things like video games or books or whatever. You know, it is incredibly difficult to make a book or a game, at least a good one that like everybody wants. And it is appallingly easy to copy a book or a game. And so the I'll follow up on that. I'm making light of something that was probably very difficult for you, but I'll follow up. I just want to finish the IP thing. And so sort of recognizing this difference, one of the solutions that, you know, we've come up with in history is this scheme of intellectual property protections, patents, copyrights, so on and so forth. So in the case of a patent, you are granted sort of the exclusive rights to something for a fixed period of time, after which it goes into the public domain and essentially anybody can use it. Likewise with creative works. If you are the author, let's say, of a book, And basically, you will be able to kind of collect the royalties of that for the rest of your life. And in the United States, it's life plus 75 years. In Canada, it was life plus 50 years, but I believe one of the conditions of the new, kind of the new NAFTA, the CUSMA, I believe that was to extend copyright life plus 75 years. I know that used to be part of the TPP, but then the US kind of pulled out of it. And so we're like, well, we're not going to do that. So a public domain work basically means that, so the thing is that if I want to do right by so first of all, I believe I should be doing this the right way anyway. But on top of that, I think it is kind of nice to sort of cover myself legally as well. You know, what I don't want to do is take someone's work, record it, and collect advertising revenue or like sell it on Audible or something like that without giving them their due, right? And unless they've explicitly given me permission to read their work, I shouldn't be doing that. But there are plenty of works now which have entered the public domain. So if I want to read the works of Jonathan Swift, I do not owe the estate of Jonathan Swift any money. If, on the other hand, I wanted to do something by Neil Gaiman, let's say, well, Neil Gaiman is alive, and he probably has some opinions about whether or not he's owed something if I were to read one of his books. And so, you know, that's... So when I say public domain, essentially I mean something for which the author... You know, the author has basically died, and that there are not... you know, there aren't royalties owing to their estate. I don't believe. Yeah, so there's the statement of the Mickey Mouse copyright extension, named after the largest supporter of the copyright extension, as well as the maybe the sentiment surrounding that. From my understanding, Disney has not lobbied for further extension of copyright. I also believe that there is no appetite for it. So I believe. If nothing else changes, there will be a I believe the works that Disney was originally trying to protect will be entering public domain reasonably soon. Okay, I'm really, really, really sorry for the extended domain. Sorry, it's for the extended delay. But I do want to shout out Night Valiant. Night Valiant actually seemed to have to deal with a hate raid. At the very least, he was in subscribers only mode, and I can only assume there was one reason for that. So if you'd like to take pity on him, follow him. But more importantly, he's a soft-voiced Brazilian who streams a bit later than me, so is usually a safe host for me to send out at the end of the night. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, but he has been doing a lot of Game Pass games lately, and also really likes Outer Wilds. So I don't know if he's going to be doing the DLC anytime soon, but. In any case, very nice person who's looking to grow his channel, and I definitely recommend that you check them out. Some old ones that are also copyrighted, like is Conan Doyle? I don't think Arthur Conan Doyle is copywritten, or sorry, copyrighted. Let me just double check that. So the one exception I believe is the estate of Frank. Or no, not Frank. Peter Pan, I believe, was given a very special. So Peter Pan, I believe, has a special copyright, which is in fact like in perpetuity. I also believe the King James Bible might fall under that. Project Gutenberg's usually... Oh, interesting. So apparently that is under copyright until 23. Sorry, I'm just a little curious here. What? No, LA Times now says Sherlock Holmes is really, really in the public domain. What in the world is going on here? Because, like, Arthur Conan Doyle died in, like, the 19th century, I thought. Oh, no, he died... It was the 20th century. Oh, wild! Richard Posner worked on this one. Okay, so if you guys are interested in intellectual property stuff, Richard Posner is both an economist and a judge, and he's a really interesting guy. Okay, I need to stop looking this stuff up. But I do have a big big bit of reading to do now on the Arthur Conan Doyle stuff. I'm really sorry guys. I realize that's very like not Phantom Brigade related, but this is the thing. Like, this is stuff that I've studied and I'm really interested in. So I did want to check it out. Okay, so again, just a repeat of what we were doing, because I know I got interrupted by the internet disconnection. So I'm moving sort of as close to perpendicular to the movement. Just again, I'd prefer not to have this all be taken on the shield, but if some of it has to go on the shield, like, basically I'm trying to make it as hard for me to be hit as possible in this case here. And they're basically attacking right away. So my best option, in my opinion, is just to move to the side. I've got a couple of units attacking them. My heavy unit's already evacuated. So I'm bringing the melee unit in for a clobbering, and then the rest is all just us, shooting. So this one, I really want to see how this one turns out. All right. That all went on the shield. Ah, good for you, Dels. I actually had a big internet kind of blap, and I've been talking about nonsense. So that's fine though. We'll get another hour or so out of this. Okay, so the biggest threat is gone now that the right arm is down. Okay, so it looks like they do want revenge with their sidearm. So the rest of this is really just going to be a question of kind of mopping things up and trying to avoid as much damage on my units as possible. You're no expert, but you think the nonsense is a good part. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. And Delves. Yeah, the music for this game is great, and actually the composer, they've been in the stream before, but the composer actually visited last time. There was a new there's a new bit of music for the game, and actually, you know what? I can take a second to shout this out. If you would like to support the musician directly, I mean, so first of all, you know, buying the game is a nice way of doing that. But this is the Bandcamp, so there are multiple soundtracks on here. Some of the Phantom Brigade music is on this page, but keep in mind this is the PAX East EP. So some of the tracks will sound different from most of the tracks sound different from the way that they do inside of the game. And they, you know, it's not the finished version, let's say. The whole digital discography is 25% off. It's $18.33, so I mean, basically the cost of a normal album if you bought a physical one. I guess on iTunes that's, you know, it's more like about 10 to 15 or that. But I mean, I'd say quite inexpensive, especially compared to the quality that you're getting. And I don't know if it's still true, but I remember it had said somewhere on the site at some point that sort of purchases went towards student loans. So I don't know if the student loans got paid or if I just don't see that section of the site anymore. But as somebody who is still, you know, I'm getting close. But I think at my current rate, I'm probably 8 months away from paying off the money that I borrowed for school. You know, I sympathize, and I would much prefer that Herr von Dr. Koenig. No, sorry, that Dr. Koenig, the composer of the soundtrack, that they were earning money rather than paying back expenses. I think I'm just gonna hide behind the hill here. Oh wait, nope, that doesn't work because they're still gonna shoot me. 319. They have enough to take an arm off. Oh no, when you were starving, you send you pretzels and beer. Oh, that's very kind of you. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've got decent enough employment. I'm managing, but like, it would be nice to kind of get out from under the. It'd be nice to get out from under it and you know, feel like I'm earning rather than paying back. But you know, obviously, I'm in much better straits than lots of people right now. So. You can listen to Chuck talk about life insurance for hours and still be interested. Well, see, the thing is, life insurance is actually a very interesting subject. Well, any subject is like it depends on like the angle that you know, the angle that you take on it, right? Like you can see it as just a bunch of numbers, and that would be very dull. But in another sense, right, like one of the things that I find so interesting about insurance is that, you know, we very often talk about, you know, what would be fair or what would be good when we're kind of talking about how we organize society. And it's completely understandable why. It's something that it's something we sort of want to answer for ourselves. If we can answer it well, then we live in, you know, a more just society, one that is, you know, better for everyone to live in. There's lots of reasons why you would want, you know, why this is a very worthwhile topic to talk about. One of the things I do find so interesting about insurance, though, is that people tend to have a very dim view of insurance. And it's kind of interesting to me because when I think of insurance, I sort of think, well, nobody really knows if tragedy is going to befall them. And if you were to say, like, what's a fair system we could come up with? It's like, well, we, put all our money into one big pool, and the people who need it get to draw from the pool, and the people who don't need it at least have the peace of mind knowing that if something had happened to them, that they would have been, they would have been taken care of. And so in many ways, like, insurance to me kind of seems like a system that a lot of us would sort of want. And I think that's a reason why a lot of governments actually do run the insurance programs. But oftentimes, insurance is often seen as a very negative thing, or I've heard some people kind of refer to it as like gambling. And of course, to an actuary, I don't really think actuaries think of it that way. I think actuaries see it as, we have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. We just don't know to who. And so we rely on, we kind of rely on very large numbers to be able to get that judgment right. And so I sort of think how we have in our mind something that we think would be the right way to organize things. And yet we have an example of something that we've created. And it's one of these things that actually has some very negative connotations with them. So I'll be making 300K. Oh man, I wish. If you want gameplay, there's the rest of Twitch. I know that wasn't intended as a joke, but that's pretty much the summary of my stream. I might steal that as a tagline, actually. But yeah, I mean, like, I'll be honest. Like, most of the jobs I've had have already had some kind of insurance. I've never bought it on my own. But how do you really save 15% or more on car insurance? I have no idea. I was originally from BC. There's only one game in town in BC, which is ICBC, which is run by the government. Let's hope it doesn't hit my right arm. Man, you're really killing it on the emotes today, 1-4. I like that one. Oh, we're so close to taking this thing out. There we go. Okay, so we got to recover the lost gear first. So that's an arrow arm and the Vulcan heavy. So that's 50 of our loot already gone. I suppose there were 4 new mechs that came in, so at 20 a pop we're still above, but that's only an extra 30 that we got out of it. And then I suspect that we're going to have some damage from the sort of the concussions and such. Actually, I guess one thing I could look at would be, so we've got a light arm here, so 487.95. Okay, mass 915. Okay, yeah. No! You got gifted 6 months subs this month. You follow many people. You counted again. It was 10. Well, it is September, so one of the reasons for that is that I think it's 20% off for either purchased or gifted subs, and then I think if I recall correctly, there might be a discount for like continuing a gifted sub from September. I don't remember that part that well. But it is traditionally the time when a lot of streams kind of have these mad, have these mad, like, you know, gift givings, which is a nice thing to have happen. Like I think it's actually cool that I think it's cool that people show support that way. Okay, one thing I want to do is try and convert these legs into something a little more interesting. Let's say... That was worth 15. Yeah, that works better. So let's let the... well, we can move closer as the repairs go. Okay, so we're going to take a second here and just make sure that all the... Yep, it's generally looking good. Let's just take a second here. So I did pick up another Vulcan. Ooh. So the damage is better, but it says here the idle scatter is pretty brutal, so it turns out I don't want to use that. Lower body... So we've got some knocks that could turn into the arrow. Mass isn't where I want it to be, though. Although at 13, it's already moving pretty... Let's see if there's another unit that can use that. Actually, let's start with the gavel. So the best I can get would be the blade. But I'm pretty happy with my axe right now, so we'll leave that be. I think we've already kind of reviewed the upper bodies here. Unless I had better heat capacity, I think I could live. I think I can live with what I've got already. As far as lower body, better integrity on the legs. Barrier goes down. I mean, these aren't bad legs. So I wonder how much that hits my... $14's not bad. Okay, let's my Sleipnir is definitely one of my kind of zippier mechs, so I want to make sure that I've got that as kitted out as I can. Some of this stuff I've kind of already checked, but I don't think it hurts to sort of do a double check. Also, I may want to consider a sniper rifle at some point on one of the units, perhaps as a replacement to a to a machine gun or something. Hey, Joshy man, how you doing? And pretty heavy legs. I think I had this dilemma last time too. So I'm gonna leave that be. So we haven't really touched the lance recently. I'll take care of the stalwart first. I would like to kind of make sure that the A team is taken care of. And it seems to me that this is a better shield to stick up. I mean, so this is the challenge here, right? Do we put this on the stalwart or do we put this on the lance, which I believe has been the one that's traditionally had the bigger shield. In this case, I'm gonna put the shield on the unit that's gonna use it. So that gets the Svalin. So right now I've got the Hurricane with an output of 900. I could replace that with the Midway. So that apparently does do 977 in terms of damage. Ooh. You know what? I actually think... So I really do like the machine gun. I think I'm willing to experiment a bit with... No, you know what? It does not make any sense at all. It does not make any sense at all for this unit to have a shield if it's going to have a sniper rifle. I am far from the smartest man in Canada, Joshy man. I believe that award goes to... Sorry, my apologies. I got a message here, and I'd like to make sure. I'd just like to make sure someone's okay. Okay. Yeah, so I think smartest man in Canada probably, I don't know, Ryan Clark, James Chan. I know what side my bread is buttered on, so. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with how the A team's set up. I don't think it hurts to just do a double wait, we already went over this, didn't we? So there's a small argument for the beefier arm. What does that do to my overall speed? Oh, you know what? It's almost 6 extra weight that we put on in exchange for about 40 more damage absorption. I just don't think those numbers make sense. Okay, let's see what we can do with the lance. I actually really like the lance. It's just a little hard to... there's only so many units you can deploy. Okay, let's adjust the right arm first. So I think a nice beefy 311 works best here. Left arm. So one of the reasons I'm doing this is just so I can start cleaning out the, wait, I don't think that's the, is it? I don't feel like that's the right color scheme. This is partly just so I can clean out my workshop next. Those legs worked really well. And then the linebacker, I actually really like how the linebacker was working, but again, it's just a question of how much space do we have in the team. I feel like if we flip out that core, it'll work a little bit better. So if I just stick a standard core in there, how does that compare? Better heat dissipation for a lot of them. Okay, so if I do a standard, the overdrive is a little extra power, less overall heat capacity. And then charge. Oh man, this stuff is really hard to figure out. Because I kind of want it all. The one thing I don't want is the barrier regeneration on this one. Let's give it an overdrive. Okay, cool. So I got a bunch of stuff I can scrap. And then I think any of the level 2s, unless it's like on a, you know, we can even do that with the level 3s. So basically, unless it's on a mech, I'm not gonna keep it. And then for subsystems, I think I should start getting rid of some of the duplicates. So, is there a difference between a level 1 and a level 2 standard core? So here's what I'll do. I'll say 4 of each type of. You know what? Actually, sorry. I'm wussing out. I'm actually gonna hang on to these individual components because I might actually want to customize this. I'm not going to customize it now because I've been spending too much time in this window. But I actually think it may not hurt for me to spend some time thinking about that. Sure, the Queen will take note of that. Time to mod some battle mechs into the game with the rockets and Gauss rifles. Well, there's definitely things close to Gauss rifles in this game. And the modding support is actually already present. So for those of you not checking out the Discord, which I will conveniently link in the chat here, maybe now is not a bad time, especially because we've cut partway through. Remember that I was given a copy of this game for promotional purposes. So I am actually this much of a fan of Brace Yourself games, but... please do keep in mind that I was given a key for this game to talk about it. So, but if you go into that Discord, there is a specific Phantom Brigade section, and if you would like, you can actually talk with some of the people both about the mods that they've done as well as interact with people. Maybe for some help in terms of making the mods that you have as an idea come to life. Obviously, the stuff that we like in games has all of that's come from someone. So you may be the one to make the next thing you do. Talk about games, you like the system talk. I do my best, although I would like to play the games occasionally too. All right, Sierra 95, Spec Ops Base. Its elimination, a reinforced military structure for overseeing the invaders' operations. It's heavily guarded, and attacking it will likely draw the attention of local patrols if they have not been eliminated. So caution is advised. So this is rated very hard. Let's see how good we do. Decelerating. Let's flank and finish them off. I don't think this is the same map. Oh no, man, no, it was a different map, I think. Or was it? No, I'm pretty sure this was the map where we had like a really tough fight last time too. Right, it's been a while since we've seen a tank, so this one, oh my god, this is packing a marksman rifle as well as has the ability to sort of raise up. Okay, so that's all right, Marksman City. Okay, so we've got... It's all snipers and marksmen. I guarantee it. Okay, so as long as nobody gets hit by anything, we're good. Okay, so good news number one, everybody hates the melee unit. It looks like that is no less than 3 units attacking it. So I suspect it's too much to... Oh my god, really? Oh, that's wonderful. This is basically how I get out of my problems. I'm gonna hit my way out. So basically I run. They start shooting at me through the building, which the game is telling me is not going to result in any hits. We hit this unit with melee, and then immediately following we proceed to go through. Now it's possible I actually crash with this unit, which would be a concern. Now one of the highest priorities I have right now is to get this... I don't care how much heat damage I take. I need to get this unit up front, and we need to just let her rip with the cannon. As soon as my other unit's clear, of course. There's a small worry. It's a heavy launcher, so I don't think I'm going to be in range for this. But it's worth the risk, because everybody's sort of clustered up. So I'm just going to be able to spray shots all the way through this little choke point. So in the meantime, I'm going to try and get my... That's the worst possible move I could have made with this unit. Okay, so if I just walk onto the high point, then it takes the whole turn. Ugh. This is going to be the least likely one to be affected by anything that's happening inside here. So we'll start with that. Does everybody have a job to do? I think the Sleipnir has been ignored. Yeah, there we go. Time to go to sleep. Wish everyone a nice night. Thank you very much, Win4. Great to have you in the stream as always. Thank you for sharing the emotes as well. And we will see you next time. Alright, so Sleipnir makes a better door than a window. think I'm willing to take the heat. Okay. We'll do it slow-mo. See how it goes. So the real story is going to be on the melee unit. Oh, please tell me they're not going to collide. Okay, that's good. Okay, game was true to its word. The shots didn't go through the building. But was that enough to knock it out? Yes, it was. And I think I screwed that up because they're all crashing into each other now, so the opportunity to have the damage through the choke point's been lost. But pretty hard to argue with 98% concussion, more or less intact melee unit, and the enemy pretty much in disarray. Okay, so first thing I want to make sure is that I'm not in the danger zone as far as the heavy launcher is concerned. So we're safe there. Next up, who's getting attacked? Okay, so looks like the Sleipnir's the new favorite. So seems to me that this unit is pretty much close to being knocked out. So what I want to do here is I'm going to move to the right. I need to buy a little time heat-wise. It seems to me if I do this move, I have a building between me and the unit that's still going to be standing by the end of this. So let me just double check on my weapon. Doesn't actually list what the concussive damage is, but I'm like 99% sure it does it. Okay, and honestly, it's my greatest hits album here, so we'll wait it out. We'll run forward. And we'll hit him with an axe again. That seems like a great way to get hit by the... Well, as long as we do it by the 3-second mark. Oh man, this is going to be so good. So this unit's weight 2. This unit's weight 3. So right when they want to try and bang into me with their, so right around the time they want to hit me with their missiles, I'm gonna have my shield up and I'm gonna be blocking them. So I guess the last question is there anything I want to be doing differently with my hammer? Right now, this is not a great place for me to be trying to shoot people because I've got my own units in place. But I actually kind of like this spot just because it's in a good choke point, and if I want to start firing, I can. So we're gonna leave that be. Oh, this isn't gonna work. I mean, I protected myself, that's good, but this unit's going to be recovering its concussive damage. Oh, I totally forgot about the turret. I'm taking a lot more damage than I expected. But you shall not pass! Okay. So again, best way for me to get out of this predicament is just to whack my way out with an axe. That should knock the thing out. More importantly, it gives me the opportunity to Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think my own unit would be crashing in that case. Alright, well that's a bit of a bummer, because it means he's going to get hit by... He's going to get hit by the turret again. So we'll just get them out of the way. I'm not going to do anything with my heavy. So that means the Sleipnir kind of needs to pick up the slack. So it seems to me that if this unit gets hit with melee, there's still plenty of opportunities for the Sleipnir to damage it as it gets knocked away. Their concussive damage isn't anywhere where it needs to be for them to be off the board. We'll get a cheeky hit in on the last unit. Okay. Not an ideal turn, but I think this will work out. Okay, and now my unit didn't move at all. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. But I will live with it. So here I'm gonna fire. Now the catch here is that I might actually get hit by the missiles. I'm going to try and dash to avoid it, though. Now, the next question is, do I have an obvious target for my heavy weapon? And basically, the answer to that is no. But I will by the end of the turn. That's a nice, just nice wide open hit that I can do on that unit there. Okay, my melee unit's nice and free. Is there somebody who I can sort of hit with my big club? Not really. Okay, so we move... Oh, wow. So if I dash, I both lower the likelihood that I'm going to take damage from this marksman, and then I get myself in position. Okay, so yeah, that's my best survival mechanism at this point. Okay, so we're just going to wait things out here. This is going to be where the... So this is basically where my ally stops doing their attack. Like a little more of an insurance policy there, so I think that works a bit better for me. And then I'm actually going to start walking close to some cover. Okay, so it looks like somebody wants a piece of the Sleipnir, so I'm actually just going to move them. So the real key on this one, I think, is going to be to just make sure that I'm out of harm's way. So I think I need to cool down anyway, so best bet for me is just stay put here. So we wait it out. I make an appearance, hit him with my shotgun. So I believe they do another attack. Oh no, they don't do another attack on me. Well, that makes it easy then. Or does it? No, because then I hit my ally, so... but if they're not going to do a second attack on me, seems to me like I get to have my revenge. Alright, that works for me. Yeah, we got tagged by a little bit. Oh, they got 2 hits. Interesting. But it did hit some barriers, so... Oh wow, they're a really good shot. You gotta keep an eye on the missiles. But again, we have a plan for the missiles. We're doing more damage to the unit that's out of commission than we are our target. Oh, as you can see, the Vulcan's already starting on this unit. Oh, that's nice. So, I don't think the melee is gonna hit now. Which is a shame, because the concussive damage would be enough to take it out completely. Oh. We did. So we've got 2 units left. One here, and one that's getting absolutely demolished by the hammer. Alright, where are the missiles? Looks like they already landed, so... Okay, so this unit's basically disintegrating. They want to hit the Sleipnir, and looks like the marksman's going hard on the melee again. So honestly, my best bet in this scenario is to just try and dash behind a building again. I don't really have a good reply to most of this. I'm going to try and get this Sleipnir into a slightly safer position, but something that still lets me do some damage to the marksman where I can. And basically I want to do that damage as early as I can. Okay. And then finally we get our heavy... I want to kind of make sure that the machine gunner's the one doing most of the... Oop. Actually, if I just keep them where they are, that doesn't quite work for me. Takes them a while to move, unfortunately. That's a little optimistic in terms of what I can pull off, so let's not wait till... We'll wait till the end of the next turn. And I think I'm actually going to take a break with this. I don't think this will be enough to take out the enemy unit, but we may get lucky. Okay, yeah, that's moving the way I want it to. Yeah, so we're actually not doing all that much this turn, but it may actually be enough to take out the mechs on the board. Okay, so that wasn't quite enough to take them out on the... it wasn't enough to take out their arm. So who's ejecting? Okay, the sharpshooter's ejecting. So clearly we we abandon any hopes of scrap and just let her rip on this unit. The rest of it, by the way, notice all that dust from like the destructions of the buildings. That was added a couple of patches ago. I don't know how many. So actually, out of curiosity, how many people noticed over time that this battlefield just like looks like there's been a lot of activity going in terms of just how dusty and hard it is to see? It's a really subtle touch, but I really like it. I'm curious if there's going to be interactions with the weather effects that are going to be added as well. But okay, I think the rest of the team's going to focus on taking out the turrets. Whoa, no. Okay, honestly, against the handgun, I think we'll just put up the shield. I guess I'll just spend the whole turn walking then. Oh, actually, that puts me right in the middle of its... Okay. It's a little harder to handle than I thought. Yeah, you know what? Dashing's the answer. And I guess next round we'll deal with this turret. Okay, so we gotta wait for the red ring of death to get out of the picture. So there is a chance that this thing survives this turn, so I'm gonna focus on it there, and yeah, the rest of the team's kind of divided the way I want them to be, so... It's a heavy launcher that I just opened. I just kind of got an invitation to get hit by, so I'm going to wait out the Red Ring of Death again. Be a little more careful with my heat this time on this unit. And speaking of heat, get a head start on that one. Actually, I can attack it as I move by. And pilot's knocked out. All right. Supreme victory. All hostiles eliminated, site under control. So, for doing the mission, we got a Helga Heavy workshop charge, a regenerator subsystem, 100 supplies, and a Spark handgun, level 12, so that might be an upgrade for some of my units. It is my inclination to usually take all the rare stuff. We do have a couple of intact mechs. So I guess the rest of the remaining questions would be, you know, should I scrap it all? What should I do? Let's start by seeing how much... Okay, so we already go over the limit. So with that in mind... Well, no, these... So then we give up the sniper rifle, the compact... Well, what am I giving up the compact launcher for, though? Okay. I think that works for me. Unless the sniper rifle inexplicably... Oh, wow! Okay. So apparently the marksman rifle off the VBT was worth more. So one of the reasons why I do this, I think I've said this a couple of times. Right now, I don't really... Unless I remember it, I really don't have a point of comparison for the weapons that I'm looting. So what I tend to do is just take the greens and blues. It's not always the most efficient scrap-wise, right? Because if I knew that this arm or this, you know, this lower wouldn't work for me, I could go from 50 scrap to 20 in terms of what I'm giving up. So it's essentially 30 scrap that I'm potentially losing out on, or 30 you know, requisition points or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's not requisition if it's scrap, but like basically I'm giving up sort of 30 units of space on the option of using this stuff. Personally, I'd kind of like the ability to make comparisons to my team, but on the other hand, like so obviously if I mouse over it, it's probably not going to show me like all of the arms that my existing team has. That's going to have up to 8 points of comparison and probably isn't all that informative. On the other hand, though, there's like a whole lot of space on this screen here where, you know, you kind of could, I don't know, I feel like you probably could get some information in here. But, you know, this is basically the reason I'm doing it the way that I am. It's like, these are the things that I will either use for my units or I will later scrap, but I will only scrap them after I compare them to my existing inventory. And if it means that I have to give up space in order to get the option, it's better than just taking the scrap directly in hand, because I'm doing okay for that now. So we'll confirm the scrap. So we've got some repairs to do. Yeah, we'll leave that all for later. I think, oh yeah, 33,000 scrap, we're laughing. So I think that is it for tonight. Again, I know it was a little chattier than, well, chattier than normal, but I am still quite chatty. 29th. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was 28th. But I really enjoyed sharing this game with all of you. I think it's wonderful. I actually do kind of regret that when I finish, I don't always have, I don't always have somebody to host, because I think this is a fantastic game. I also think it's a very streamable game. So I'm maybe a little surprised sometimes not to see it on Twitch a little more often. On the other hand, I also think that might be a function of the fact that, a little bit like Hades, the game is maybe not as well known as it will be when it gets a Steam release. So maybe just a quick word, for those of you that do, for those of you that actually do enjoy streaming or considering a game to stream, I will let you know that I am often looking to host channels that are currently doing, Phantom Brigade. Right now, there isn't anybody doing that, so we've got a few options here. Sniper Guy Gaming is streaming, but so is IntelliGames, and I don't always get a chance to raid IntelliGames, so I think I will raid IntelliGamus. So they're also known as Wallstormer. They have done a couple of streams. They've done a couple of streams with KitFox on their Steam site. They're currently playing a game called Small Town Mail Delivery Service, which is, I guess, an indie name for Postal. But yeah, as for me, I'm going to be back on Friday. We were doing Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus DLC called The Freedom Chronicles. If I have an opportunity to stream tomorrow, I'll try and take it. But please remember, like, my days, I try and keep my days off as days off. So no promises in terms of streaming. But if I feel up to it, I'll definitely give it a shot. Until then, though, please be good to one another. Please do hang around for IntelliGamus, see if it's your kind of thing. He was playing Tharsis recently, which is a game I really enjoyed. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see some of you Friday. For those of you wanting Phantom Brigade, I'll see you in a week. And for the rest of you, I will see you the next time you visit. Have a good one.